I think that they have put together this amazing program and have brought people onto their team. And I think that they just are definitely a force. And I'm so honored to know them. It's just such a amazing program. And if they're selling it, I'm buying it. Christy Heard, Nemeth Consulting Group, and I am the vice president.
Fantastic. And so you've been to several driven trainings, Bold, Forge, you come back as a sidekick. I want to go back to that very first Bold experience that you had. I'd love to hear whenever you left Bold, whenever you came back, what was the biggest impact on the Bold training in your personal life once you went through it back in 20, you said 2019?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it was an interesting stage of life when I went to Bold. I was recently going through a divorce, and the whole experience was interesting because I was very loud and charismatic, but I didn't really want to get deep into anything.
Yeah.
And it kind of just made me. Um, it made me do hard things and very uncomfortable embracing. Um,
Yeah.
and so for me, it really kind of just gave me who I knew I already was, but had kind of lost over the years, and enabled me to be able to come home and set goals. I was kind of just in a place of I had moved out of my house. I was going through a divorce. I was a single mom again of a, 7-year old. Um, and it helped me be able to come home and set new, this is what our family is doing. We're going to get back to our values, and we're going to have family meetings, and we're going to unpack all of our stuff, and this is our new lifestyle, and it's okay, and we can do hard things.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. And so now that it's been a few years since you've gone through Bold and had that breakthrough, what's the impact still today for you?
Yeah, so I feel like every time I sidekick, I take something out of there. Part of it, it's like, oh, I know what they're doing next. I know how this is going to go. But I've probably sidekicked 7 times, and every single time I've taken something else home out of it. Whether it
Yeah.
was I learned something from someone who was in the class, or just something I didn't pick up on before, or it was taught a little bit differently, or I was just in a different stage of life and business and everything. So something else stood out to me, and that time, and as compared to the last time. I think that I still tell myself all the time, trust the process. Gotta trust the process.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much Mary has told you about me personally, but I'm actually battling breast cancer right now. And
Wow.
I think I'm winning the fight. But every day I wake up, I'm like, okay, new process. I'm trusting this one too.
Yeah.
Sit in the uncomfortable, embrace it. And so I feel like it just gave such a core foundation of we can do these hard things, and it doesn't have to take us over. And you kind of learn the most when it's hard and you're in it. And the most frustrating situations, those are kind of the ones that you learn the most from. And
Yeah.
before, when I didn't like to do hard things, I knew I could do them, and but I didn't want to. Now I'm kind of like, bring it on, and we got this.
I love the impact on your personal life, and I mean that's an amazing story. Like I said at the beginning, a lot of this translates into the business as well. I think true impact in anybody's company or business comes through that personal breakthrough. So, for you personally, when you came back into the business after attending Bold, what were some of the biggest changes or some of the revelations you had in the business side of things for you?
So, when I went to Bowl, I was doing leasing for internally for a big restaurant group.
Oh,
And
okay.
my boss was very into personal development. And I think at that particular time in my life, it really helped kind of refocus at work and be able to have almost more. I don't want to say really more intelligent conversation because I'm, educated and I think I speak intelligently, but for business gave me a different perspective about speaking with people and kind of, like knowing their disc profile and kind of knowing what mine was. And I think it just gave me a little bit more perspective of kind of just sitting and listening, hearing,
Yeah.
being more active listening and hearing people. And then with my internal team to be able to have those more intimate, in-depth conversations because everything else going on really did affect the way we were doing our jobs.
Yeah.
And, now with my own business, I started this company and then ended up going to the Forge. My mom and I own it together. She did not join me, but one of the ladies who was there owns a business with her family similar to my business.
Hmm.
And so she and I, and we knew each other from the industry. And I was able to come back with a mission statement and purpose and a little bit softened to speak a little more, I guess, with purpose, to stand up for myself. I'm a woman in an industry that we deal with a lot of, I deal with a lot of older male. And to be able to not necessarily stand up for myself, but to speak much more, I guess, eloquently and to kind of just own it.
So I'd love to hear, I know you talked about it a little bit, but specifically for Forge coming back, how did it affect, you and your mom's working relationship? I know you said you were able to stand up for yourself, but what was the lasting effect there for the
So
from the Forge training?
I think the lasting effect is still here, and it really ended up coming in handy. I came back so gung ho, like we're gonna have a mission statement and we're gonna do things with purpose. And any employees that we hire, we're gonna have Eric and Mary interview them first, and all these
Yeah.
things. But it came, I would say, most recently last year. I was going through chemotherapy and it kind of got thrown at me very quickly, and so we didn't. Hindsight, I don't ever recommend anybody to work full time while they are going through something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so I would have treatment and then I would be out of work for a week and things would fall behind. And then when I felt good, I would catch up and I had all this anxiety. We don't share roles. And so we each have pieces of our job that we have to get done for the other one to be able to do their portion of the job. And, she was frustrated and I wasn't really feeling great. And I was so overwhelmed with number one, my health, the emotion, the business, all the things, and I just like unleashed how I really felt about the whole thing. But it wasn't like I was just losing my crap. It was like at the end of the conversation, I think we both sat back and were like, whoa, look at you go. Let's just speaking how you feel. And I think
Yeah.
it took her to go, oh, wow, I wasn't thinking of it that way. That must have been intense. And we are still doing this, and it was a moment too for her. Like her business partner was sick. Her daughter was sick. Her grandchild's mother was ill, and so it
Mm.
blended into all these things, but where I was able to not hold back how I felt because it kind of gave me a life changing perspective of I'm just going to tell everybody how I feel because that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Because I have cancer, dang it. But it was definitely a turning point of I am educated and I can speak with emotional intelligence and I'm not just a little kid. I'm a grown 40-year-old woman with my own business and I have an opinion and actually people do want to hear it.
Yeah. That's amazing. I've been doing a lot of these testimonies and time and time again I hear exactly what you're saying. So I love hearing that story because I'm sure that changed your business for the better, like exponentially whenever
Mm-hmm.
you're just able to operate as Christy and not who, Christy thinks other people need. So
Right?
that's amazing. Well, are there any other thoughts or anything else you want to say about Driven or Bold Forge before I let you go here?
Um, I mean, I say it. I'll say it 10,000 times. If Eric and Mary have something to sell, I will buy it. I think that they have put together this amazing program and have brought people onto their team, and I think that they just are definitely a force. And I'm so honored to know them and to have been a part of, I kind of thought I'm just going to go to this bold class and then I'm going to learn some stuff and then I'm going to be done with it, but anything they ask me to do, I'm so there, you know. I saw them in Oceanside when I had first been diagnosed, and I said, "Can I just hurry up and get through this so I can get back to sidekicking?" They're like, "Get well first." I'm like, "I just want to go now," And so I think that it's just such a amazing program, and if they're selling it, I'm buying it.